Adding students is very simple. This screen navigates much like Excel. For those of you that are already familiar with Excel, you'll find this extremely simple. I can tab to go forwards, I can shift tab to reverse, and if I am typing in and I see a match in my drop-down list, I can simply hit enter and it'll populate that row. That way my hands never have to leave the keyboard while I'm creating my class rosters. Now, typically, with each of the campuses, an administrator has already uploaded the list of campus students. This is what allows me to be able to type in my student ID or first name or last name and get a constantly diminishing list of possible matches so that when I see that student, I can simply highlight and hit enter. If your campus has not uploaded those students and you are doing the manual class creation, you would want to get with your administrator and get those uploaded first, simply because this will save you a tremendous amount of time. Being able to go through and just look at your possible matches allows you to populate your class extremely quickly instead of having to enter in each individual field. The other downside to entering each individual field is that if you and another teacher are having the same student, but one of you creates a different name or a different student ID, you will create two records for that student. And so now we'll have information on that student residing in two different places. So I'm going to finish. And in this case, you notice how it came up red. I tried to enter a student that was already in my class roster, so it will warn you, and I'll just move on to the next one. That way you don't accidentally enter a student in twice. We keep you from being able to do that. And now I've created my 10 student class roster. Going through this the first time through for many teachers, it can take up to an hour. This is something that you only have to do once a year. This is not a tremendous amount of work. For those of you that are good with Excel and have your class rosters already printed, you can get it done in as quickly as 20 minutes. So this does not take a tremendous amount of effort. And actively managing it throughout the school year is as simple as simply picking a student that is no longer in your class and clicking delete. Now, when you delete this student, it will ask you to confirm, and we'll confirm that. And we did not lose any information on that student. The only thing we did is that we have removed their instance from this class. So it may be that that student moved from my first period to my third period. I just no longer need to collect information on that student in this particular class, and I will simply add that student to my third period class. Now, in this case, to show adding the student back in, we'll simply pick our student that we are missing, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, missing number 5. So I'm going to add that Marvin Martian back in. And now he's in the class and I'm collecting information on him again. Once we're done with that, that's all you have to do as far as creating your class roster. And to add new classes, simply click Add New, and we start the whole thing over again. So I can do my demo second period. And we'll say this is 10th grade mathematics, and I'll just leave it at that. And now I can create a whole new roster. So in this case, I'm going to create my Walt Disney class. And I have already You can also use your mouse. So if you see the one that you want inside your list, you can click on it and just hit enter after you've clicked on the mouse. I find it quicker to just simply use my keyboard, but for those of you that are much more partial to the mouse, you can do it that way as well. And our last one, Lumiere. All right, that class is now created. One of the things I do want to point out is that the pad ID is automatically assigned to each of the students. If you are not using any of the All-in Learning clicker systems, this will be immaterial to you. But if you are, you do not have to assign the pad IDs to the student. The system will automatically do it for you. Now in this instance, if let's say my Chipmunk here broke his clicker, and it was clicker number 8, but I have a 26 pad set, then I can reassign pad number 11 instead of having to replace that pad, so I can still get Chipmunk's responses. So we're going to leave that where it is. Now, one of the other things that we take care of inside our classes tab is being able to print our bubble sheets, and we will move on to that next.